PMD, producer of marketing and distribution, and that is my friend.
This is Brett Bumiter, known as @BrettBum, Twitter, YouTube, and all sorts of places. Softwit Media, and we're getting ready to take a look at our next project on Kickstarter today. Adam, what do you got for us today?
So we've got a project called Unbranded by a guy by the name of Ben Masters with 17 days to go, and they've raised over $60,000 US. I thought it was an interesting project to take a look at for a number of reasons. Just a quick couple of sentences about what they're trying to do. It's a film about wild mustangs in the American Midwest, and the attempt by this particular filmmaker to draw attention to an adoption program that is administered by the Department of Land Conservation, if I'm not mistaken, in the United States, which corrals and wrangles up tens of thousands of wild mustangs every year that go into an adoption program. And they're, of course, made to heel, and they're domesticated. And it is very similar to a film from 2011 by Cindy Meal by the name of Buck, about Buck Brenneman. And did you see Buck, by the way?
I didn't, but I thought this looked a little familiar. I've road tripped across the U.S. before and seen wild mustang herds, so as I went through the video for this particular project, I was somewhat captivated by the cinematography that they were showing just in the intro video. It was definitely some compelling things that they were able to demonstrate that they can do just in the intro video alone. But the picture that they show, just on the title clip of their shot is even pretty impressive. Just some guys riding wild mustangs, but the scenery, the mountains behind it is it's pretty amazing. Actually, let me share that with our audience real quick.
It's a campaign that has been running now for about a month, and it's a campaign that is supposed to last for about a month and a half. They're looking to raise $150,000 total, and I thought it was a bit interesting because it's kind of leapfrogging upon that very interesting phenomenon. I'll just keep quiet. Are you able to see? Sure. Are you able to see the actual page?
So I'm on the page now, and I was scrolling through. It's you're right. It's they're up to $61,000 of the $150,000 goal with 17 days to go. They've got 327 backers. But the thing that stands out for me, I mentioned it too. It's just the imagery, and you can kind of see it in that title shot. But also they've got a handful of pictures down here too. It's some really compelling locations that they are planning on covering, and that's I think going to be a pretty interesting thing about this project. It's just compelling to look at some of the things they're shooting among everything else. They could probably just put music behind it and put it on National Geographic and it'd be interesting.
I'm confident that they're going to raise their goal. 17 days is a long time still, and again, I think a film that has, just imagine the possibility of raising over $60,000 and then not being able to keep a cent of that because you don't make your target. If the film is already that ambitious, look at the thing they're trying to do. This is a 6-month march from the Mexican to the Canadian border through 5 states with 6 guys and I think 13 horses.
3,000 miles, yeah. No, it's crazy ambitious that way.
And the thing that is really interesting about this is, it would be a crying shame not to be able to keep any of that money. So their pleasure awards are a bit. That's really what stood out for me. The story was fine. The leapfrogging or piggybacking upon some of the popular trends in cinema involving horses was all there. The horse whisperer with, of course, with Robert Redford, who played Buck Brenneman. That's all there. But the pleasure awards were a bit wonky. Like, for example, for $2,500, and they have only one backer, and they're offering 25 of those. That's what an example of what we call uh, the limited number of rewards. They're just offering you the chance to name a Mustang in addition to all the items that preceded, which were not that hot in my estimation. For example, the reward that just preceded it was a GPS plotted map of the actual route. I mean, I just have a difficulty believing that the average Joe is going to want to hop on his trusty steed and take a gallop through 5 states over, or 6 states over 5 months, or 5 months over, whatever the variation is. It just doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean?
It seems like they're missing an opportunity to engage their audience. They've got a lot of backers, quantity, total number, but wouldn't it be cool if they had some sort of event while they were filming? On the, at the end of each month, we'll have a great big picnic, and come on out, and the backers that provide $2,500 get to eat with us that day, and something during the shooting, and have the audience become maybe part of this thing a little bit. But even if it's off camera, even if it's off film, just the chance to meet them while they're going through this long trek across the country. How to getting a Mustang named after you, that sounds like one of those $1 pledges to a charity that you might see on TV or something like that. I agree, it didn't ring true, but it would be cool to bring people in locally. That'd be a chance for further fundraising outside of Kickstarter even. And I don't know, they seem like they need to kick it into high gear with this, right? 17 days to go, $100,000 almost to cover.
My fantasy is that they've got a considerable number of deep-pocketed donors that are going to bail them out if they get into any sort of difficulty. The other curious thing about the actual figure was that I've been monitoring it over the course of this entire day, Brett, and that figure of 61,689, it hasn't moved by a smidge. It hasn't moved up by $1. I've been monitoring it for the last 6 to 8 hours. It hasn't even moved a bit. So that seems a bit curious that now, as you've seen, as in that screenshot you had shown us before, the campaign now running for the last almost 1 month, it's about 24 days. That's kind of a bit concerning, because crowdfunding is about momentum and it's about forward thrust, and we've talked about this in our first episode. If you don't have that momentum going, it's kind of hard to pick it up later. If you don't at least have some small donations, some small pledge amounts in the $10 to $100 variety in the interim, you hope for the big shots, but you don't depend on the big shots. This particular campaign seems heavily weighted towards the large backers in the upper $1,000 variety, which is how they've succeeded in getting to 61,000 so far. And it's going to be interesting to see what they do. We'll keep an eye on this one.
Yeah, no, I would agree. Ben Masters, the person that's heading the project, he lives in San Angelo, Texas. I lived there myself back in the early 90s when I was in the military. And my thoughts are, as they're going for those large backers, the people that this film would appeal to, people that are trying to conserve the West a little bit, people trying to save Mustangs, people that are probably ranchers themselves, or those types of folks. They're do-it-yourselfers. These are literally the people that invented the concept of lifting yourself up by your bootstraps. And so trying to get them involved in a campaign to raise money for a project like this, it kind of makes sense, but at the same time, these are the people that would normally say, well, I did it myself, you should go do it yourself as well, unless there's some tie-in for them to get involved. And so, have a barbecue. Kick off the whole movie with a big event or something like that, and invite them. Have those rewards be a ticket to the barbecue, or I don't know, something. Sell some of the gear. Sell the saddles afterwards, or something like that. But they seem to be missing a chance to engage those folks somehow. I'd agree. The rewards don't seem to be quite where they need to be. But and maybe they just set their goal wrong. Maybe they should have gone for a lower amount.
Yeah, just one last word about the actual numbers. For $10,000, you get an executive producing credit, spreading the word about Mustang adoptions. I mean, there might be some strategy there that they have employed with trying to entice the right deep-pocketed donors. Perhaps people that have $10,000 to burn don't mind actually being associated with the project in such a minimal way. But for example, they've duplicated the reward amounts, which is a popular technique where you actually list two different kinds of rewards for the same amount to appeal to different constituencies. Without getting too specific, a couple of them could have been slapped together. I also feel that for $10,000, which in our economy, is really difficult to come by as disposable income for most folks, to be able to join them for 7 days, I mean, I don't get it. That's kind of, do you find that a bit minimal?
It depends on, it really, I think it depends on how engaged people are with the event, how popular these folks are. I'm not seeing a lot of press. I'm not seeing a lot of updates. If they were becoming quasi-celebrities in the realm of trying to save the Mustangs, if they were going out and, trying to get on the news and stuff like that, pushing a cause, that celebrity might, justify such a premium, a hangout with me premium, let's call it. I'm not seeing it yet. You gotta get pretty friendly with a person to for them to want to pay $10,000 to come hang out with you, right? It's maybe they're maybe in person they're doing it and it's just not showing up on Kickstarter, which is why they made it to 60-some thousand already. But on Kickstarter they seem to be they're missing something there. They good start. I'm not sure if they'll be able to make a strong finish though with the direction that they're going. So I'd like to see it though. I love the video. If you watch the video, it's a very compelling video.
I was just about to say that the pledge video is sensational. The images are very crisp. The editing is very delicate. The music is super appropriate. And the beasts themselves, the animals themselves are truly, truly majestic. I love horses, and I love watching horses do their thing. And after watching Cindy Meal's documentary, which incidentally is getting a tremendous amount of online traction, I kind of have my eye out on projects like that. I like what Ben is attempting to do. In film parlance, he's doing something that is like we know, but in a way we don't know. It's like telling stories that you know, but in a way that we don't expect. And that's what I like about this particular crowdfunding project, in that it seems to be like a story we already know, but he's slipping in a little bit of a philanthropic message in there. I'm confident that he will get close to the goal, but he probably has something up his sleeve that's going to help him push over the brink. He's halfway into the campaign. He's got not half the money raised yet. It would be, like I said, a crying shame to lose $60,000 on the table. We'll come back to this campaign and we'll see how he's done.
Sounds good. Well, it's been good talking to you again, and I'd like to see this one made, if for no other reason than the film was awesome. The video that they've got so far, they seem to have a Ben Affleck lookalike too, who stands up and rides on the back of a wild Mustang. That's pretty impressive too. So lots of good stuff. The scenery that they were shooting, love to see it happen. Hopefully they don't miss a beat and they can finish strong.
Yeah, I found that was a bit interesting. That guy had like these really crisp cut sideburns. He was like the anti-cowboy.
Right.
Catch you again soon, Brett. Thanks again.
All right, thank you.